How many people in this classroom are college students? A few of you, good. Why? Why do we go to college? I'm guessing because the most answered response is to get a better job, to make more money. What if I told you that this was based on some misconceptions? We may have been misled about these assertions. Well, this leads into my proposition, which is the overproduction of college students is damaging the job market because of the diminishing human capital that we're all gaining here. I think I'll start by telling you some of the misconceptions on why we think that we have to go to college. First of all, I'm sure that most of our parents say that we have to be here. I know friends and myself have been forced to come here. But more importantly, our high schools. How many of you had high school teachers or counselors that said you should go to college or recommended to you? Well, Professor Kenneth Gray and Edwin Hurd said that teachers in the average high school have a pejorative view on non-college bound teens. 57.2% of students in the lowest quartile said that their teachers recommended them to college. So that's almost 60% of students in the lowest quartile class, their teachers are telling them to go to college, even though they're underqualified for it. This snaps with another statistic that was taken in 2007 by researchers Jay Green and Greg Forrester, who found that approximately 1,299,000 students were qualified to enroll in college based on their high school grades, but actually more than that got in. 1,341,000 people got in. So how are these people getting into college? Well, the government has made plans that makes it easy, financial aid and loans. And this is another misconception, that the loans create a misrepresentative cost because you only have to pay semester by semester. And it kind of tricks people in not seeing the entire cost of what you're actually paying for. And this, sometimes paying for college just isn't worth it because there won't be a lot of jobs afterwards. But what does it mean to let underqualified people into college? Well, the college curriculum gets watered down because we're accepting so many people. We have to lower standards in order to accommodate for everyone. Paul Trout of Montana State comments on students today, saying students do not read the assigned books. They avoid participating in class discussions. They expect high grades for mediocre work. They ask for fewer assignments. They resent attendance requirements. They complain about coursework needs. They don't like tough or demanding professors that do not adequately prepare for class and tests. They're impatient with deliberative analysis. They regard intellectual pursuits as boring. The reason they intrude on their courses intrude on their lives and their time. They're apathetic or defeatist in the face of a challenge and largely indifferent to anything resembling an intellectual life. Now, this is definitely rung true to me. I've read on RateMyProfessor.com for an English professor, this is the worst professor I've ever taken. He makes you read. I don't know what he was expecting to do in that class, but it just seems that people are being forced, if they don't honestly want to be here, the authoritative figures in their life, whether it be their parents or high school teachers, are pushing them into it. But this creates, having so many people in college creates disengaged students because there's so many people around. You don't have as much as a relationship with your professor, and you become disengaged, and you just want to get by. And having all these people, it hurts because what's the easiest way to cut costs within a college? It's to lower the standards, to let everyone in. All of the disengaged student, it turns college into a business rather than a way of learning. They just want to get people in and out. Just get your degree and leave. It doesn't matter. It's not about the skills anymore. It's just about the credentials that actually are not as worth as much as they used to be. Moving on to my third point, which is the job market. The U.S. Labor Bureau did a survey, and it says that the greatest job growth in the next decade is actually going to be retail, salesperson, registered nurses, post-secondary teachers, customer service representatives, janitors, cleaners, waitresses, food prep people, home health aides, nursing aides, general operations manager. Now, actually only 2 of these jobs, which are being general operations manager and post-secondary teachers, actually require a advanced education. And it's turning out that the jobs just aren't there anymore. Ann Matthews, in her book Bright College Years, comments that 1/5 of college graduates are working in high school jobs, and 1/3 of Domino's delivery people in Washington, D.C. have a BA. But what am I trying to say about all this? To sum up all my information, it's that the idea of higher education in America all adds up, and the systems that we put in place actually are defeating what they're trying to do. And I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration on this matter.
All right, Ryan, the opening is pretty good. I think that you state the premise clearly, but the phrasing on it is a little complicated. Sorry to dummy it down. The contents of the speech, I think you need a better preview. I couldn't really tell how it was going to develop. And then during the course of the speech, toward the end, you said, my third point is, and I'm going, what was the first and the second points? I couldn't quite tell that. I mean, it just seemed like you were diving into the information. And you had good information, and I could see how things are developing logically. But remember, listeners need a little bit more structure.
I said part 3 because I had the swoop, because I was like, oh, I forgot 1 and 2.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. So you need to just be more consistent about that. Now, other than the organizational stuff, I thought that you had a lot of good ideas in the presentation. You cited your evidence pretty consistently. There's some points that really make it in a convincing way. You are sometimes dependent upon, the audience having to do visualization for themselves to come up with illustrations, but you also had a couple of examples on your own. All right, thank you.